Welcome back. Welcome back. My fucking computer is just saying fuck you, essentially, and just not really trying to work. So we're recording off my phone today. It's gonna be a quick video, just a recap of my beard is crooked, but a recap of last week or this past weekend. It was a good weekend for me. Both of my teams won. Very rare, honestly, at this point. But we both look good. Cats chasing each other, but both teams look extremely good, and wins that we needed, and we definitely were expected to win both those games. Saying the Saints and Tennessee both played the Colts and Kentucky. Both games on the road. Both teams don't do well on the road, but expect to win both. Won them convincingly. Saints. Both teams had well control of the game. I mean, both games were somewhat close. Like the Saints game was 38-27. Tennessee's game was 33-27. So both close games, but not really. If that makes sense. You know, we definitely handled them. Tennessee. Well, with all that being said, you can jump right into it. Tennessee looked great. Joe Milton has built on what he's been able to do the last 3 games. Yeah, about no, let's say 2 because he didn't play good against A&M. So the last 2 games he's been really good. Even though we lost to Bama, he played really well in that game. And he's played really good. He played really good at Kentucky, and we got UConn next, team that's really a gimme game. So I hope he builds on it, plays good that game, takes the momentum into Missouri because we're going to need it. They're going to be coming off either a beat down to Georgia or a really good win at Georgia. So regardless, it's going to be a tough team to play on the road, most likely at night. So I'm excited to see where we go the rest of the year. And then on top of that, tonight at 6 o'clock, the college football playoff rankings come out. So every game from here on out is also important. I mean, you've got to win. You've got to win convincingly. You can't just win now. You've got to win these games like dominant fashion, and you can't lose in embarrassing fashion. You got to at least keep games close and relatively. I can't talk, but just keep them, close. That's what we got to do. If we lose to Georgia, keep that game close. Make them beat us by a field goal or touchdown, last minute drive. Same with Missouri. But the goal is to win the rest of these games, win the East, as it's still wide open. I mean, Georgia still has 2 games in the East to play, 2 big games. Home against Missouri, at Tennessee, and then they have Ole Miss in between that. So, LSU Alabama's this week. I'm an LSU fan at heart. Love them to death. It's Alabama week, so that's all I care about for the most part. Like Tennessee's playing UConn, of course. Definitely gonna be watching it. It's at noon, I'm pretty sure. So I would definitely be watching it. I used to be working, so I won't really be able to watch it. But I'll keep tabs on it, of course. But my main focus this weekend is Alabama and LSU, right? That's what I look forward to. Hate week. I hate Alabama. It's great. Then Tennessee plays Alabama, and then Alabama goes on their bye week, and LSU plays Alabama. It's pretty. Like last year, LSU beat LSU and Tennessee both beat Alabama, and it wasn't back-to-back losses. Last year, it's kind of actually it was Tennessee first, and then Alabama played like 2 games in between that, and then they had their bye week, and then they played LSU. Actually, no. They played Tennessee, and they went on their bye week. I think they played one more game, and they went on their bye week, if I'm not mistaken, which is weird. But regardless, it's hate week. It's Alabama hate week again, 2nd week in a row, or whatever. And I'm pumped up. I love this week because no matter what, this game's going to be competitive. No matter what, no matter the records, no matter the circumstances, this game is always going to be close. 4th quarter, down to the last drive. Always. Never know in between. Never, ever any difference. I've seen one game that's been a blowout. It was Alabama in like 2015 or something. I mean, other than that, we've had some games. I mean, you can say, the game where LSU didn't score a point, but the game's finals was 10-0. So you could say it was a blowout, but it wasn't really. It was a close game. You just couldn't score. All we had to do was score once. We're in that game. we also weren't favored to win that game at all. We were awful that year. I don't even remember who our quarterback was. That's how bad we were. So I say we, but they're not my first team. Obviously anymore. They're kind of the backdrop team because I know what LSU is every year. They're gonna every few years they're gonna win a national title or come close to it. Then they're gonna be a mediocre 8-win, 9-win team, maybe 10. Get it, and they're gonna start off every year in the top 10, and they're gonna drop. LSU's the same team every year. Literally the exact same team. Like they have a rhythm. Like every 5 years, they're like, "Hey guys, we're gonna win a national title this year," and then they just stop doing it, going back to mediocre. So, I can't say I don't get my hopes up for them every year. It's like, yeah, they're probably gonna win the West, or they have a shot at it. Because it only really comes down to this game, and if Alabama can lose a game or two, other than just this game. So it's a really close. LSU's just LSU. As a fan, you look at it like I'm like one of those fans that's kind of like more real. I don't know, like Tennessee has been building for so long that it's like at some point you watch all these losses, they're gonna come together and win. LSU's won for so long, but not won, if that makes sense. Like they've won a lot of games, been winning records for as long as I can remember. Good bowl games, but that's all we're really going to get out of them. It's like being an Oklahoma fan, or being like Oklahoma has not done anything. They haven't even made a national championship game since like 08. But they're going to give you 8, 9, 10 wins every year. They're going to be in contention every year. So it's not like LSU breaks my heart at all. It's more of just like I expect us to lose a game that we're not supposed to lose another 2 games that we're not supposed to lose, like later in the year. And then the last game of the year, we're probably going to lose to A&M in some stupid fashion. Like embarrassing fashion or just stupid fashion. That's what happens every year for LSU. Like we lose to A&M in some of the dumbest fashions in our last game. Which I don't know why that's our last game of the year, but it is what it is. And back to the NFL. I'm going to switch up real quick. Saints offense the last 2 games has looked good. I mean, outside of really the Jaguars game, we played shitty in that game, but we got it going. We were able to get in the end zone late and give ourselves a shot, right? Bad play calling at the end. Fair enough. A Patriots game, we were able to put points on the board. Texans game, offense moved the ball but couldn't get in the end zone. Like, Derek Carr threw for like almost 400 yards. That's a good offense. You're moving the football, but you're not scoring points, right? So, I know I come on here every week and I bash Pete Carmichael, but he's somewhat slowly fixing it. Like, it's not as bad as it was the last few years. It's not as bad as it was at the beginning of the year where we were scoring and not even moving the ball. Derek Carr's winning games with 112 passing yards. We're now losing games with Derek Carr throwing for 350, So it's like, okay, that's a little bit better. Like, that means we're able to get progression down the field. We're able to push the ball down the field. We're just not getting it in the end zone, right? So this game, we put up 38 points. The Colts don't have a defense at all. The Browns put up the same amount the week before. I'm not saying the Colts are good, but like their defense is not good. Their offense is pretty good. Like they can score points. They can, and I forget their coach's name. He's from the Eagles, I think. I think he's from the Eagles staff from last year. I'm not sure, but he's done a really good job out there with what he's been given. They're still in the playoff hunt. Like they're what are they? 4-4 right now, maybe a 3-5, something in the middle of the pack, and that's without their starting quarterback, who was the number 1 draft, like first round draft pick, right? So I give the Colts their flowers. Like that's a tough team. I knew that was going to be one of the games. If we were going to lose a game that we weren't supposed to, the Colts were going to be that team because they can score. They can hit you up across the head and you not even realize it. But we handled them very well. Defense played out. They played well. Now we got the Bears coming up. Bears will be without Justin Fields most likely. The backup quarterback doesn't look too bad though. The Bears just are Bears and they suck. So, but our defense should be able to get after him. We're at home as well for that game, so I just don't see him coming into the Superdome ripping us up. But we have seen that happen. It's the Saints thing to happen. But we're 4-4, so we can get if we can go to 5-4 right here. I think we play the Vikings next. Now Not looking at it, I know I remember saying, "Oh, the Saints are really gonna have like if they drop one of these games they're not supposed to, we're screwed, right?" Well, this is where it gets good for the Saints, right? We've got the Bears. So we're 4-4 right now. We got the Bears at home. That should be 5-4, 100%. At Minnesota without Kirk Cousins now. He's hurt. One of my favorite quarterbacks. I hate to see it. I hate that this year has been filled with all these quarterbacks like losing and all these good players just not being able to play. But it's a chance. 4-4, 5-4, 6-4 at Atlanta. That's a 50-50 game. I'm going to just say 7-4 because I don't like saying we lose to the Falcons. 7-4, we got Lions. We're one of their toughest teams on their schedule for the rest of the year because their schedule is cupcake. I say that's one of their losses. We go 8-4. Carolina 9-4. Giants 10-4. Rams. The Rams are a sneaky team. It's gonna be a night game and like right before Christmas. I'm gonna just say 10-5 just because the Rams they're not bad. Like they're what 3-5 right? Cats chase each other. They're 3-5 or something or 4. I don't know. Whatever their record is, I know it's not the best. They are. Well, they showed me it. I don't know what their record is. I'm not gonna count their games. I think they're 3-5. They're not bad. I think they can turn around. They got some playmakers. 10-5 at Tampa Bay, 11-5, and then close at the Falcons 12-5. So before the year, I said 13-4. 12-5 is where we can sit because the only game I see us dropping is the Rams and possibly the Lions. But I think going into that game, no one's going to give us a shot. Going into that game, no one's going to give us a chance, right? I think we shock the world. I think it's going to be a game where the Lions are going to be they're 6-2, 7, 8, 9. They're going to be 9-2 going into that game, right? People are going to write us off. Like the Saints aren't a chance. Like they can't score like the Lions can. But we're going to be in a hot streak of being able to score because we're not playing any elite defenses. The Falcons, they got a solid defense. I'll give them their flowers. Defense isn't bad. So that might be our one game where we score maybe 20 points and we can win. Their offense is awful. So I'm looking at it like, I mean, come on. Like this should be a game of the year for them, for everybody. This should be a really good game. It's my grandma's birthday, too. So. But other than that, yeah, I think the Saints have a real shot here to really get things on track and really come out of this division on top and get a really good win streak going. But we'll see. The Saints are the Saints. They're going to make mistakes. They're going to make really dumb plays at really dumb times and lose some really questionable football games. But it all comes down to what this offense can do and how this game we just had can triculate and create a good positive outcome for the rest of the year because Taysom Hill had 63 yards, 2 touchdowns on 9 carries. Derek Carr had 300 yards on 19 completions. Shaheed had 153 yards on 3 catches. That is offense that you love. That's money offense. That's offense that's just big play after big play after big play after big play. We ran for 161 yards. We gave up 164 yards rushing, though. A little bit concerning there, but our run defense has not been good this year at all. Threw for 350, 500 total yards of offense. That is classic Saints offense. That's what I've been waiting to see all year, is a classic New Orleans Saints game. Not a Drew, like, that's not, Drew Brees. Drew Brees can complete, classic. I'm trying to not say, compare this to the Drew Brees type of team, but it gives you the glimpse of what this team can be, and what we should be doing, what we should have been doing all year against teams like the Packers, the Panthers, the Titans, the Texans, what we did against the Patriots, the Bucks even. The Bucks put 26 up on us, but that's because our offense couldn't score anything. They're going to score when you keep giving them chances to score. So I think the Bears game, we do exactly what we did. We made it even worse. Vikings game, we go up there, we handle business. Falcons game, we handle business. I think it's going to really get this team moving because you're playing teams that just aren't very good, and you're favored to win these games. But with that being said, we also lost to the Texans, who aren't that good. Lost to the Packers, who really aren't that good. And was in a close game with the Panthers, who aren't good at all. and same with the Titans. So our schedule has been weak outside of one game this year. I'd say actually two, because the Bucks aren't bad. The Bucks are a solid team, um, and the Jags. Other than that, we really put ourselves in an awkward position to start off the year. But all that being said, the Saints should finish this year very well. I'm excited and really hoping my hopes don't get up too high and we, plummet and finish the year 8-9 or 9-8 or some bullshit. But yeah, I'm excited and this team should go a long way. And if we can get that going, I think we get the playoffs with a good streak going. Who knows? Maybe we can make a deep run in the playoffs. It's not likely because NFC is this year. I feel like the last 2 years, both conferences have been incredibly stacked, but this year it's even more. The Ravens are 6-2. The Bengals are coming back. Chiefs are 6-2. The Dolphins, even though they can't play against anybody good, they're still 6-2. They got offense no matter what. I mean, they're still able to hit deep shots even when they're losing to good teams. So that's going to connect at some point. They're going to be able to be a problem. And you got the NFC, you got the Eagles, you got the 49ers. Everybody's hating on the 49ers. Oh, they lost 3 straight. Brock Purdy's hit. No, the 49ers are fine. You can't win every game, all right? Especially when you're playing a good schedule. Like, if the 49ers make the Super Bowl this year or make it back to the NFC Championship game or something like that, something big, you got to give them their flowers because they don't have an easy schedule. They've played the Bengals, they've played the Cowboys, who Cowboys suck, but they're also a solid team when they want to be. They got Seahawks in their division. They had 3 losses too. The Browns, who are surprisingly really good, defensively best team in football. This 49ers team is getting tested, but at the same time, they're still good enough to win all these games. Now, granted, they are 100% missing Deebo Samuel. They need him. Because what Kyle Shanahan is trying to do is I think he realizes, like, okay, we're going to win a lot of games no matter what, right? He knows what he needs to do to win games, correct? And I think that when Deebo Samuel went down, I think Trent Williams off the tackles out too as well. He's experimenting a little bit, and I don't think people realize this, especially in NFL. College, you can't really experiment as much unless your team's really bad. In NFL, you can lose 5 or 6 games and make the playoffs, right? So sometimes you have a little bit of leeway to experiment, especially when you know you have a good team. You have a good team that can do what you know what you need to, you know what you can and need to do when you need to do it, right? I think he's experimenting with Brock Purdy. He's like, okay, the Browns game, we lost our best player. Tough game, tough loss. We missed a field goal. Should have won that game. So, tough loss. Let's move on. The second loss was at the Vikings. A tough team, really good team. Kirk Cousins played well. But they left no Deebo, right? They let Brock. They're like, hey, Brock, I'm going to let you go out here and sling it. Like, this team is yours. It's your game to win or lose. And Brock didn't play well. You know, he turned the ball over, I think, 2 or 3 times. He just didn't play well. But that's a Monday night game. It's a really good football team. All right, let it go. You know, it's a close loss. Maybe he'll learn from it and come back next game. It's a very good team. Joe Burrow and the Bengals. Bengals game, he plays. I watched that game. He did not play well at all. He did not play well at all. And again, they're giving him the keys. Hey, go out there and win this football game. And he didn't play well. I think the experiment is over because they're going in the bye week. I think he's going to be like, okay, we now know that Brock is not there yet. I'm not saying he can't be or he will be, won't be. Right now, he is not the type of quarterback that can just win you a game if you don't have certain pieces. Joe Burrow can win you a game without Jamar Chase. Win you a few games. He can win you a lot of games without Jamar. Drew Brees can win games with nobody. Tom Brady can win games with nobody. Peyton Manning can win games with nobody. There's certain quarterbacks you can put in any situation, they can win you football games, right? But certain quarterbacks that need that number one target. They need that one guy that's like, hey, no matter what, third down, I'm going to you. You know, if I need a big play, I'm going to you. They don't have that right now with Deebo. And you can say George Kittle's that guy. And George Kittle is really good. He got 9 catches for like 150. But when you don't have another guy to just You want another guy to distract you from the main guy? It's a problem. Now, and the main guy in this equation would be Debo, but you have a backup guy, which is George Kittle. You have Brandon Ayuk, but he hasn't played as well either. He's been a little bit banged up. So now everyone knows you're shrunk down to just two players essentially, because Brandon Ayuk didn't even really. I don't think he even played against the Bengals. I think he was hurt. I'm not sure, but I don't think he even played. But you have now Christian McCaffrey, who knows he's going to get the ball a lot. He's going to score it, of course. But now you can reel it in and just focus on him. All right, okay, cool. We'll let George Kittle go off because they need him to block if you don't have your best offensive tackle. They need him to block more than catch, right? He'll make some big catches. But as long as we can reel in those two guys, we have a chance. We can force him to force a ball. If we can get 2 or 3 plays in a game where we shut down both of them at the same exact time, where else is he going to go with the football? He's going to try to force the ball to somebody, and it's going to go our way. And that's what the Bengals did. They found out, hey, if he doesn't have his best player, he's not going to know what to do with the football. And Brock did a good job. He kept that game close for as long as he could, but he made some really big mistakes inside of the red zone that you can't do. He's able to move with his legs. He's able to do a lot of things, but he's not there yet. He's got the reps, of course, but he hasn't had the reps of being behind. Right? That makes sense. Like now he's had 3 straight games where they've had to play from behind. Well, maybe the Browns game. They were up in that game and the Browns won late. But 2 straight games where they've lost, where they've been behind the whole game, and he's had to will them back. Now that he's got that under his belt, those 2 losses, I think he's going to be able to fix it and get those wins in that situation, right? Because before that, he'd never really been in that situation where they're in a dogfight and they're having to play from behind for the whole game. And he's going to have to be the guy to do it. I think it's a slump that every young quarterback's going to have at some point. Whether it's like people forget Patrick Mahomes for like a year was not that. There was a year. I think it was second year. I think it was the year they lost the Super Bowl to Tampa Bay. Actually, there was a year where Patrick Mahomes just wasn't really good until he got to the playoffs. Like he was in a bad division, of course. AFC West is not a good division, and he was able to pretty much win enough games to win the division. Like he won 11, 12. They got home field advantage, of course, because their division's so bad, and they're able to win some big games, of course. But he didn't play well. They had a really good offensive line, decent run game, and he was able to make Patrick Mahomes plays at big times, but he didn't play particularly well. Everybody's like, oh no, he's over, like he's not good, and then he went back to Super Bowl. So there's always going to be that slump in a young quarterback's career where they're just stuffed and everyone's figured them out. But the best players are able to figure that out and just get better and better and better. And I think Brock's going to do that. I think Brock is a very good quarterback, a very humble quarterback, and he's very good. He's got a lot of talent. I think he's going to figure it out, and he's going to understand, like, hey, this team needs me to be something more than just a game manager. Jimmy Garoppolo is a game manager. He knows that. He embraces that. Like, hey, I'm not going to be able to throw the ball 40 times. If I have to throw the ball 35, 40 times, we're not winning. And he's understood that, and he knows that he's not the guy to lead you in a way. Brock Purdy wants to be that guy. You can see it. The way he plays, he makes plays because he wants to be the guy to lead this team, and he doesn't just want to be the game manager that Kyle Shanahan's used to. He wants to be that Matt Ryan, where Kyle Shanahan gave him an MVP essentially. Because have we ever seen Matt Ryan in an MVP conversation ever? No, we've never seen him in that conversation. So the fact that he was able to get him in there and win it, also when they went 11-5, and to get Super Bowl with 11 wins is insane in this day and age. But he was able to do it. So Brock definitely wants to be there. You can see it. He's got the talent to do it. He's got the humble personality and he's got it. He definitely can get that going. Other than that, this video isn't going to be too long. I'm going to go ahead and shut it down. I will be back later tonight, though. About 8, 9 o'clock when I got some plans with my little sister. I will be back, and after the college football playoff rankings, the first week rankings come out, and we'll make another video because I'm excited to see that. Tennessee did move up, but the college football rankings are different. So college football and now AP rankings do not matter. It's called college football rankings, the gold and black rankings, not the fucking basic numbers. We don't care about the AP poll. We care about the college football playoff, right? So if Tennessee is higher than their AP poll, I'm going to be very excited because we're 19 AP poll right now. If we're even 16, 17, we've got a legitimate shot to turn the tables and sneak our way. I mean, sneak our way into the top 4. Or at least top 5. Like, if we get pushed out, be it 5 or 6, I'm good with that. I'm okay with that. But look at our schedule. We've got UConn right now. Don't really matter. But we win that game big. Move up a little bit. Then we have at Missouri, Monday, or a night game, most likely. I don't think it's they usually actually tell us 2 weeks ahead. So let me see. Blickety blick, blickety blick. Game time. No, they have not said game time for the Missouri game just yet. But it's probably going to be a night game. SEC night game, tough game. Now, remind you, they're going to be coming off either a really big win against Georgia, which is going to catapult them in the top 10, or a really big loss to Georgia, which is going to drop them. But regardless, that game is going to be, I say if we're 17 going to AP poll, we beat UConn, they bump us up 1. So say we're 17, we go to 16, and they're maybe top 10 somewhere. We beat them, we're in the top 10, or at least close to it, 11, 12. We play at home against Georgia, who was either coming off of 2 straight losses or a split. And that's going to be a really big game because we beat Georgia. Say Georgia's still undefeated, and they're number 1, and we're number 15, 16, 14. We beat them, automatically top 10. And then after that, we have one other game to Vanderbilt, but then we've won the East. So we have SEC championship game. So we beat Vanderbilt pretty big. We beat up on Vanderbilt. That puts us at, 8-2, 9-2. Win SEC championship game. We'll probably play Bama or LSU. If we beat either one of those teams, we're in the fucking playoff. I don't care what anybody says. Because if we're able to beat, because one of them is going to be a top 10, right? We're going to be in the top 10. We win the SEC championship game, put us in the top 4. Because you can't have a playoff without an SEC team. You just can't. That's my take. But that's also just my thoughts of what could happen. What will probably happen is, knowing Tennessee football, we beat up on Missouri somehow after they just, after the Georgia game. Who knows what happens there. Actually, let's do this before I leave. Missouri-Georgia play this week, right? It's in Athens. It's going to be a shootout or a blowout because Missouri's got an offense like crazy. I think it's going to be a shootout. I think Missouri's going to be able to move the ball. They're going to run the ball, keep the ball out of Georgia's hands early, much like they did last year. Force an early turnover, get the ball back, score again. But last year, they didn't score. They scored field goals. They didn't score touchdowns. This year, they didn't score touchdowns. That offense is really good. Then you jump out to a big lead early, like a 14, 17-0 lead. 17-3, 14-3. Georgia's going to get it going. Carson Beck's going to get it going. It's going to be like the South Carolina game. I think Georgia's going to take over the second and third quarter. They're going to win the third quarter. I say in the third quarter, it's a 27-24 game. Fourth quarter, Georgia's going to have the football start the fourth quarter, but they always want is the ball start the fourth quarter somehow. And they're going to score again, but it's not going to be a touchdown. It's going to be a field goal. It's going to be 30-24 in the fourth quarter, and Missouri is going to turn the tables, and this game is going to be back and forth until somebody makes a mistake or whoever gets the ball last. And I think Missouri is going to come out on top. If they do, they'll be 9-1 going into the Tennessee game, if I'm not mistaken, or 8-1, something like that. Regardless, it's going to be insane. It's going to be a great game. I'm excited for it. This will be probably the first week I won't be really paying attention to Tennessee football and watching everybody else except Tennessee. I probably won't turn the game on. I'll probably look at it on my phone just because it's UConn. It's I don't really care. But, I mean, I'll definitely be tuning in for LSU, Alabama, and Georgia, Missouri. So with all that being said, I'll see you guys later tonight, hopefully. If not, maybe sometime tomorrow. Discuss these playoff rankings. And before, I even show them to you. Actually, no, I'm not going to predict. I will predict my top 4. I think number 1 is going to be Michigan, even though they have a scandal going on. Michigan is the better. What they got is better than everybody else. Michigan, Georgia. People can hate me for this. Florida State, Ohio State. That's my top 4 prediction. I will see y'all later on.